Darlene, and I have Parkinson's. I was going to do something different today than what I'm planning on doing. I was going to do another TikTok tries and tastes of things, but I decided I'm going to do something different. I did that for a reason. I was trying to find some TikTok hacks and test them out and whatnot, and I stumbled across something that I thought was kind of interesting about not only do they people go, does this work or not work? Sometimes they're downright dangerous. And I just think that I would be foolish to promote anything that I don't know whether it would even be dangerous or not. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples. And so I've chosen to take that segment off. I'm not going to do that anymore. And I've got an idea for a new segment. So I'm going to tell you about that at the end. But right now I'm just going to give you a couple of examples of what I'm talking about. There was one where they were suggesting that people that want to have piercings but don't want to have the permanency of a piercing, if they want a tongue piercing, they could get these little tiny magnetic balls and put one on the top of their tongue and one on the bottom of the tongue, and that there would be enough magnetic pull to keep them in. But that's not true. There isn't enough. It will hold it for a short while, but the moisture in your mouth is going to inhibit that, and you're going to swallow them, or you could swallow them. And if you swallow more than one magnetic ball, your body can't handle it. It can go into your intestine, and then they will glump together. And once they glump together, they can, not always, but they can cause a blockage. And if they cause a blockage, you may need emergency bowel surgery. Now, those are maybe worst case scenarios, but there have been a number of people who have had to have emergency bowel surgery because of too much magnet in their system, and it caused a blockage. It's not worth that risk. So personally, I would never even tried that, but I'm just saying there are lots of children who would do that because mom and dad said they couldn't get a piercing, and they'll just pop these magnets in, and it's dangerous. Another one, let me just see what it says. Right. They suggested that you take a bottle of Pine Sol, poke a small hole in it, leave the lid on, poke a small hole in it, and put it in the back of your toilet tank. A little bit will leak out. It displaces water, so you don't use as much water for the flush, they say, but it leaves a continuous fresh scent, and it continuously cleans. What they don't tell you is that Pine Sol, that's not what Pine Sol was designed for. And it can cause the plastic that's in the toilets and the rubber of the seals to degrade over time. And that would nullify any warranty that you had on it. And it would cause a heck of a mess and ruin your toilet and possibly anything else on the floor. So that's just ridiculous to do that. This is the one that I was actually going to do. I can tell you I was actually going to do it because there's the sponges and there's the fabric softener. They were saying that you could make homemade dryer sheets by getting a container, putting a bit of water in it, putting a half a bottle of your fabric softener in, and leaving a sponge soaked in it. When you're ready to do your laundry, take the sponge, wring it out, put it in with your clothes into the dryer instead of a dryer sheet. And I thought, and then you can just put it back in that container and use it over and over. And I thought that sounded like a good idea, and we'd give it a try. Then, today, I discovered that the sponge, when you put it into the dryer, it's been known to leave oily spots on your clothes. Well, who wants to ruin their clothes because of a dryer sheet? A dryer sheet does not do that. So it seemed pretty silly to me to risk putting something in that's going to do that. Not only that, it will leave a waxy residue in your dryer, and that waxy residue in your dryer over time will become flammable, and that is very dangerous. And for the people who don't really believe that, even on the back, this is just a Dollar Tree fabric softener, but on the back it even says here, do not use on children's sleepwear or any garments that are labeled flame resistant. Use of this product may reduce the flame resistant properties. So it not only does it become flammable as a waxy residue, if you have flame retardant clothing for your children or yourself, and it will reduce that flame retardant amount, and they will become flammable. And so you don't want that. And I can attest to not necessarily the flammability part, but I told you the story once before, but I'll just tell you again. I was wearing like a flowy dress one day, and I was at my mom's house, and her oven was low, like the counter's here. She had a countertop stove, but her oven was lower than that, like a dishwasher, and you opened it down. Why they put it down there, I don't know. That was a silly thing. But anyway, it was down low, and I had this flowy dress on, and I went to check something in the oven, and when I bent over, my dress touched the oven door. And I, of course, did not realize it, and I lifted something out, and when I stood up, I literally had no dress up to the waist. It had melted, like, when you put a flame to the end of one of those cords and it melts into a little plastic ball. My dress had a ridge just along the waistline of melted, the fabric had just disappeared. And I was standing in the middle of her kitchen. There was 14 people at her house for dinner, and I was standing there with my underwear showing at the front of my dress because I had no dress. But anyway, so I know what they mean when they say it can, this didn't go on fire, but it also didn't leave me a dress. Anyway, so I've decided I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to promote those things. I'm still going to watch TikTok, don't get me wrong. I'm still going to watch TikTok. But I'm not going to promote any of these hacks and whatnot, or even try them, because I don't want to do something dangerous. So I was thinking, what am I going to do instead? And I've come up with an idea. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it Pass or Fail. And I'm going to ask people to send me either a recipe that is a favorite of theirs and they'd like to share it, or if it's not a favorite, something that they've seen somewhere and they have the recipe for it, but they've never tried, and they think would be fun to see if I could do it. Or it doesn't even have to be a favorite, just something that they've tried and they want to see somebody else try it. So I've got the first one of them, and I'm going to do it next week. And it's going to be on Tuesdays. And I'm going to what am I going to make on Tuesday? Bill's sister Pat has a mixed vegetable salad that people just raved about. And it's made with a bag of frozen mixed vegetables. So she told me that it was really good and people were raving about it. And so I said, well, can I use it for my first episode? And she said, most definitely. So I'm going to do that next week. And I have another person that has given me a very great idea for the week after that. And so if you're interested in getting in on this and you'd like me to try something or share a favorite recipe of yours, do it my way and see if it works out for me. Y'all have seen I'm kind of crazy in the kitchen. But if you have something that you'd like me to try and you want to share it with everybody, just send me an email. My email address is in the description. Send me an email with it and we'll fit you in there. Okay, so I think I wanted to tell you a little story. I did want to share this. My brother Gary was telling me about this. He said, now I can't remember if he said he did it or if the babysitter did it. I can't remember. I think he said the babysitter did it. But anyway, we used to make our popcorn on the stove. And I guess she was going to make popcorn for the snack for the kids. And she put the popcorn on, but she forgot to put the lid on. And all of a sudden, they're all sitting in the living room and they hear the popcorn popping. And so she's thinking, when it slows down, she went into the kitchen. Now, first of all, she should have been in the kitchen the whole time. But either way, that's neither here nor there. But she went back into the kitchen. She had forgot to put the lid on, and the popcorn had popped absolutely everywhere in the kitchen. So Gary said it was so funny. But anyway, so that was what's going on. I should also tell you that Claudine's feeling much better. She's going to be a long time in healing, but she is feeling much better. And I saw her smiling the other day. That makes all the difference to me. All right, I'm going to leave it at that, and we'll see you all tomorrow.